Da, 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 I'm loving it. This is not sponsored by McDonald's yet. Hey guys, what's going on? Memes here. So apparently I actually went back and listened and tried to figure some things out, but rumor has it that this one trick unites quantum field theory and general relativity. What the heck am I talking about? All right, we go to our good friend Wikipedia again. I'm gonna want to verify. But as Professor Moser taught me long ago, I mean, if I don't has all the books, I don't has all the encyclopedias. I'm just saying it's probably one of the greatest things ever. I I totally do not regret giving them money, like $15. Full disclosure. Disclosure is important. But coherent uses of measurement. A coherent system of units is a system of units used to express physical qualities that are defined in such a way that the equations relating the numerical values expressed in the units of the system have exactly the same form, including numerical factors, as the corresponding equations directly relating to the quantities. It's very interesting. A coherent derived unit is a derived unit that for a given system of qualities and for a chosen set of base units is a product of powers of base units with a proportionality factor being 1. We're going to skip ahead. Okay, yeah, that's that little thing. Put on the thumbnail for a reason. Apparently, it's a lot more important than I thought. Oh, yeah, there's like 5 things there, I believe. I'm just saying. Where are we? Did I unclick it? No. All right, well, it's right here under the work of James Clerk Maxwell. Each variant of the metric system has a degree of coherence, the various derived units being directly related to the base units without the need of intermediate conversion factors. An additional criterion is that, for example, in a coherent system of units of force, energy, and power be chosen so that the equations force F equals mass M times acceleration A, energy E for the second equation equals force F times distance D. Last equation, power P equals energy E divided by time T. I'm saying it all out loud for a reason. This is very important according to some very smart people. So the equations hold without the introduction of constant factors. Once a set of coherent units has been defined, other relationships in physics that use those units will automatically be true. Einstein's mass energy equation, E equals mc squared, does not require extraneous constants when expressed in coherent units. I'm just saying. That's what I read from Wikipedia. Remember, I'm just a dude on the internet. Now, as a dude on the internet, I feel like I should maybe share a little bit more. But in order to do that, I need to go back to the correct tab and actually make sure audio is shared. There we go. All right, Thad, what's going on?
Came to understand that there are rules in physics. So if you scroll down on that page, I'll tell us some of them.
Rules, you say?
Right there. So read this
Oh,
paragraph to me.
Okay. Each
I learned
variant
this
of
from
the
Thad.
metric system has a degree of coherence, the various derived units being directly related to the base units without the need of intermediate conversion factors. Additional criterion is that, for example, in a coherent system, the units of force, energy, and power be chosen so that the equations force equals mass times acceleration, energy equals force times distance, power equals energy divided by time, hold without the introduction of constant factors. Once a set of coherent units have been defined, other relationships in physics that use those units will automatically be true. Einstein's mass energy equation E equals mc squared does not require extraneous constants when expressed in coherent units.
Yeah. Starting to fall in?
Yes.
So the fact.
All right. At least for the moment, here's the thing. All I know, no, and there's more, and there's more. You need to prove it's not just a math trick. I mean, if it's a math trick, it looks like a really good trick to me, and it has one more confirmed prediction than string theory, the mu on G2, which, to be fair and to disclose, in the second edition, some might say there's a more beautiful equation that actually closer matches it. Now, again, that's completely up to you, but essentially the claim is if, according to the story, that actually solved the fine structure constant via the hyperbolic vortex equation, that essentially if hypothetically, if you could derive the fine structure constant, it's that thing that basically is made up of the speed of light. The speed of light happens to be the Planck time divided by the Planck distance. When you do that out, it comes out to be 2.98 times 10 meters to the 8th power. It's like, that's pretty freaking fast, and that's per second. I'm just saying that if you look at some of the stuff, and basically if you actually have a coherent units that you're using and you keep it consistent, because I think this was a big thing in physics. It's like, if you look at some of the stuff like string theory, it seems like a great idea. Well, you read fiber bundles. Well, isn't a string a fiber bundle? Makes it, and then other derivations, and if we're going off like a lot of measurements, it's like, all right, we get measurements. We got some pretty good measurements, a lot of things like 6, 7 significant digits, and then yeah, maybe some, like I've heard 13, I think maybe 14, maybe 15. That's a lot. And again, we need to try to figure out what we're actually using here. So Thad's claim is essentially using the Planck constants, particularly the 5 being for time, Planck time, for space, Planck length, goes defining distance, and for mass, the Planck mass. For charge, I find this interesting. It's either the Planck charge or the charge of the electron. They're kind of close, but not quite. Charge of the electron is elementary charge. And then temperature, Planck temperature, which happens to theory. Those are basically the boundaries. They happen to have corresponding apparent analysis combinatorically, because combinators are cool. Basically, once you get a ratio there, if it's going to hold, and then it goes into things about trying to prove it, like using polynomials and stuff, and basically factoring things. So it's like, all right, you got a, what is it, a cube? All right, you got a cube. It's got so many different things, information on it. If you can get an equation that factors it, and you go down to a square, at that point you can essentially define the parameters of an n-dimensional hypercube. And apparently, if you can do that, and that says he's able to essentially define the n hypersphere of maximal volume, because at least for the hyperbolic figure eight knots complement, it has a definable volume to pretty much anything we want, and the equation that brings it up, it's a lovely thing. I'm still trying to understand it. All I know is I look at this stuff, and then we'll take a look at just the other quick things, just real quick, because it's just a beautiful thing. All right, we're in the window mode. Boom. Okay, we have a little equation. Basically, if you set all those to 1, because a lot of folks in physics, for ease, it's like, what are we going to define as 1? All right. Forces, mass, time, acceleration. All right, well, Planck mass there. Acceleration is a derivative of basically force and mass, I believe. Well, was it mass, and then it's actually an accelerating reference. Oh, that's interesting. Energy, force. You can also calculate the Planck force. Times distance, so that's the Planck length. All right. Power is the energy. Could be in a number of different forms. Divided by time. That's Planck time. Wait, mass, length or distance, and then time. I'm pretty sure Mr. Kirchheim Mungel said something about if you can figure out 3, you can complete the thing. Is the thing complete? It's a pretty wild model. I see you there, Parrot Head. This is the thing. A lot of people use turtles because all I know is I've been on the internet for a while, I managed to clip things.
World exists on the top of a giant turtle.
Thank you, Professor Wolfram. We have not confirmed that yet. That's Stephen Wolfram, the CEO of Wolfram Research, which basically it's the stuff. It's like for a lot of digital assistants like Siri and Alexa, it's like, oh, we could just let you do a standard internet search. We want our digital assistants repeating the first thing that comes back for a standard digital search if it hasn't been categorized. We're going to use Wolfram Alpha for that. It's a computation. He's the dude it runs a lot of stuff, or at least a lot of stuff that I think we use. But okay, we have that. We'll just pop over here because this is interesting. Coherent time for an electromagnetic wave. The coherence time is time over which propagating wave, especially the laser of a maser beam, may be considered coherent, meaning that it's in phase, on average, predictable. Like this is where sines and cosines come in. In long-distance transmission systems, the coherence time may be reproduced by propagation factors such as dispersion, scattering, diffraction. Okay, it's usually coherence time is usually designated by. Oh no, I don't even know what that is. I need to learn my letters or symbols. It's calculated by dividing the coherence length by the phase velocity. Light in a medium. Oh, so that means it's going through something like air on average and water on average. There seems to be a diffraction rate. I have thoughts for another video on that as well. Can we negate the effects of gravity, the curvature of quote unquote space-time as we know it, with curvature? Can we curve the curve? I'm just saying, I'm just a crazy person on the internet, as well as we have Tim, the legendary Tim, this Tim Possible incarnation. That's the thing. That's how I met you. Wait. Oh. I'm going to put this in the video form. I've been saying it for over 6 months now that I'm going to put it into a 10-minute video form. Basically give the whole story. And I'm going to give links for people to click. So they can go like Wolfram Alpha and just like, I don't know. I hear people talking about receipts. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to keep my actual receipts, so I'm a terrible. We won't go into that. But no, we're going to try to explain it in a way that will make sense to hopefully practicing physicists and just average Sally, Dick, or Jane. But yes, well, this is the thing. I've also had my own trolley stuff, parentheses, stuff plus things, or ST parentheses times F force equals U or us. You can. I'm gonna do it in the other form. It's less trolly because it may actually be correct. I think it's like I'm gonna call it. I feel like it's one of those like Microsoft or Windows for Dummies books. We shouldn't insult people, but I want to do like Combinators for Dummies to at least explain it to myself because I can be a big dum dum. I'm one of the biggest idiots in the world. I'm just saying, welcome, Miss Sherry. But well, this is the thing. I literally spent last year listening to Professor Carroll's lectures, learning it. I went on a very interesting journey. I'm going to medically condense it down to something that should explain a lot. If you want to go further from there, by all means, you don't got to watch it at all. I'm just saying that I thought that was fascinating. Where was that? Lambda is the central wave of the source. So basically, T equals 1 over delta V. I think that's the change in V or velocity. Is hand wavy approximately lambda squared divided by the speed of light for the change in lambda. All right. Where lambda, the central wavelength of the source, delta V and delta lambda is the spectral width of the source in units of frequency and wavelength respectively, and C is the speed of light in the vacuum. Telecommunications spectral width, it's the wavelength interval over the magnitude of all spectrum components is equal to or greater than the specified fraction of the magnitude of the component having maximum value. This was interesting. A single mode fiber laser has a line width of a few kilohertz corresponding to a coherence time of a few hundred microseconds. Hydrogen masers have line width around 1 hertz corresponding to a coherent time of about 1 second. Their coherent length approximately approaches to the distance from the Earth to the moon. I think they're measuring redshift. That's very interesting. I think that's how we calculate a lot of cosmological differences because all that redshift stuff. All right, we will finish this. Quantum physics offers new way to factor numbers because factorization is important. Okay. Any number theory, in theory, can be written as a product of prime numbers. For small numbers, this is easy. For example, the prime law, apparently, because it gives you a shortcut, does this allow us to skip ahead? Is this like one of those magical flutes from Super Mario Brothers 3? I always wondered how my dad got ahead. He told me he read a book. That encouraged me to learn. Thanks, Dad. I totally learned to read trying to compete with my dad in video games. God rest his soul. But all right, we go down here. No, I undid the things. All right, to develop a quantum number theory, what we need is a quantum system, at least a theoretical one, to able to reproduce the prime numbers, Martin said. In the paper, our take was to try to obtain a system able to factorize a number into its primes. The method is analog in the sense that it is not like Shor's algorithm, which is programmable in a quantum computer following the gate model. It says it is the measurement of a carefully set quantum system that provides the answer. Oh, a coherent system to provide the answer, they say. What is Shor's algorithm? Shor's algorithm is a quantum computer algorithm for finding the prime factors of an integer. It was developed in 1994 by American mathematician Peter Shor. Listen, I'm just saying, there's a lot of bad juju going around. Now, again, experiences may vary. I believe we're all more similar than we are different, but we do each have our own unique life experience. I personally think most folks are good people. Maybe that's just me. I could be completely wrong. But you got to remember, just because you're a good person doesn't mean you don't do stupid shit. Case in point. Now, here's the thing. You got to also factor in. I didn't even mean to do that. I'm going into my standard 5 tendencies of humanity spiel here. There are some videos on it. Maybe I should I should probably actually put them in a playlist or do the actual YouTube thing and maybe start attempting to do useful things here. Because if you want to follow your dream, maybe self-sabotage isn't the greatest thing. Totally guilty. But all I'm saying is people tend to act in their own self-interest. Now, the degree of that which may depend upon the interaction. That sounds like a pretty complex thing. But that's all I got for now. Welcome, Doc Smith. I apologize. I'm terrible with the chat. If that was all I'm saying is I'm starting to see some memes that I absolutely am falling in love with. It's coming out of some folks in different valences, and it's coming. Hey, there's bad juju. You gotta counteract that with some good juju. But remember rule 1 of the multiverse, though. Never give power to the means of destruction. Hey, peace out, everybody. Be safe. Take care of yourselves, everyone.
Have you guys checked out the Memes of Destruction's channel? He's an interesting dude. I like him.